this story poem. This story poem, it's called A Story of Us, or the unflinchingly and scientifically accurate account of how we actually met 1 billion years ago. All right? It's like almost like it's a little love story in outer space, is what it is. All right? I love you all. This is my last poem. All right? Several billion years ago or more, you began as an inert, microscopic particle floating deep in space. Were any creatures aware of your existence, they might have named you something wonderful, but they didn't, because as we now know, eyes require a complexity too large to see the tiny spark and shine you had. Eyes didn't exist yet in that part of the universe. You had no purpose to be seen. After a long hibernation that included the universe forming before and around you, a very large nearby sun died, 1 septillion octillions of times larger than you, expelling all of its energy, pushing you, spinning you away, along with newer, smaller particles that spun around you. You, now a wayward atom with a purpose you didn't ask for, because as we now know, the act of asking requires lips and teeth and things. Shot from deep space, nearer the center of the universe, and after an extremely long, quiet, and relatively unencumbered flight, you landed on Earth's new moon, basking for the next very long ever. Sitting there for some time, perpetually energized by the strong rays of the Earth's further sun, a new sun, warming the even newer planet, terraforming itself in silence, thanks to the space between you. You waited for nothing and no one. Your particles radiated longer than any particles have any right to do. You waited, and the moon took its time, inching